Hello. Hopefully the mic is working this time. It seems to be. Stupid last video got ruined. Stop, I can stop. Alright. BDO, let's have a little chat. I got a lot of stuff I want to say today, and not a lot I want to do. Where did everybody go? Like, there's 4 people here. There's 3 people fishing. And 4 people standing around storage. Maybe 5. Yeah, 5. Where'd all the players go? I go to look at rankings and I go to growth. Like, I'm ranked 27. And I haven't leveled up in a year. What's, MMORPGs are dying. I don't want to be a doomer, but where'd all the freaking players go? I think BDO is one of those games where most of the player base just wants to watch the gameplay now instead of actually play the game. And there's a few people that still play. And then there's the content creators that are just trying to hang on, doing it.
A lot of stuff, leave it with me. Within your
couldn't be me.
Space, of course.
I'm gonna open these boxes. 50 stack. I need cron stones. Stupid. Give me crons. Let's spam this stuff. 220, that's not bad. Now we got 11 chances to get crons here. 15, 200, that's a good one. 15, 15, 70. That was quick. So 535, and we need to hit one of these. Probably won't though. 100, 30, 30. How many crons is it for an attempt on?
Money comes and goes. It's an ethereal
On this, what do I have? 15. If I got enough crons, I'll do a swingy. 1680, and I have 1500. I can afford 165 crons, right? 165. That is correct, right? 105 puts me at 20. Yeah, 165. We'll do a swing.
Storage space. If you buy a house to use for storage, I'll give you
what do I need for that? 165 times 3 is 300. 500 mil. Because I think I have. That'll be enough. Whatever. We'll put the rest away. Then I'm gonna do some horse catching, and because I've been doing horse training, I'm still trying to push for that wagon. But since there's a horse event, I've been trying to push for that. I've only got just a little bit more, and I'll be master 18. At 1960 unbuffed, so I'm trying to hit 2,000 horse mastery, or training mastery, whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't even know anymore. 165. Oh yeah, it's only 500 mil, sure. It's me right at 1680. Cool. We'll do one attempt that's cron, since since I've done so many raw attempts and I have the crons to do it. I don't really have anything else that I need. I guess I could do ladle attempts. That would give me 2 or 3 ladle attempts, but it's only 100 mastery. So we're gonna get 1 stone out here.
Within your allowed space.
Put you away. Put you away. I hate that you can't get rid of those. Rid of you. I don't know what those are for. that stuff will be gone. I need to catch more horses. I need to get out 228 of these because I'm going to be dumping them. And I'm going to go back to talking about what I wanted to talk about games being ruined. And I've been looking at nothing but older games. I've even been looking at offline games that don't require me to be chronically online doing chores nonstop. I've pretty well reached my fill of these daily activities.
The best human endeavor is to become a professional in a specific field.
Not enough quantity to sell, huh? It's because I didn't relog. That's another thing. Why do we put up with this kind of stuff? When the daily reset happens, why doesn't it actually reset? Why do I have to switch characters? But I've pretty well had my fill of doing daily tasks to get nowhere. Been playing Throne of Liberty with the wife, and
Did you call me?
it's just daily tasks
feel
over
relaxed
and
when you
over
look
again.
at
When
me.
did MMORPGs become only daily tasks? For Throne of Liberty, it's like you get 10 contracts a day. Well, guess what? I don't play every day. Oh, well, you have 60 contracts to do. Okay, well, I want to rip out my non-existent hair that I shaved off, because it's just the same. It's like daily quests. It's the same thing over and over again. Oh, well, you got tokens, so now you've hit 40,000 open world dungeon tokens. If you do anything in the game that gives you tokens, they get deleted instead of going over the limit. So now you got to go do that. Okay, now back to daily tasks. You can run dungeons now. You've got so many tokens. If you don't use them and you're at the limit, you don't gain anymore. You get deleted. Drop rates are awful. I think I know the answer to this.
The best human endeavor
But
is
I
to
wanna
become
know-
a professional in a specific field.
I want to know exactly when games went from being games to being treated like you owe them all of your time. And to make any type of upward progress, you pretty much have to give them all of your time. I was thinking back at, and like looking back at the different games I've played, ranging from whenever I was a kid all the way up until I hit when MMORPGs became a huge thing, you know, like when World of Warcraft took off, and a few years after that, when it was the peak of development for them. They were just everywhere, you know. There were clones everywhere of the big games, all kinds of different ones, and now we have like a handful, and most of the ones that are prevalent now that we have a handful were released anywhere from like 10 to 20 years ago. You know, you've still got RuneScape going on. I know the old school RuneScape was released more recently, but I mean, the concept is the same. World of Warcraft's still the biggest one, I guess, or fighting for number one. It was released, what, 2003, 2004? Final Fantasy, released a long time ago. BDO, that we all play. It's for the US release, it's what, 8-9 years now? Going on, I guess 10 years if you count the original Korean release. Guild Wars 2 is another like name that you hear thrown around a lot. When was it released? 2012. Like, all of our games are older now, and the new ones that come out they're just regurgitation of systems that we quit games for in the past, and I don't know why we're still playing them. So I was looking back at like one of the first free-to-play, which I reference it quite a bit because it was the first MMORPG that I played, Last Chaos, and it was severely pay to win. it wasn't made very well, but it was one of the first free-to-play ones. I was a broke college kid at the time, so yeah, I was playing free games, you know. I would spend money here and there, but I think the total I ever spent on that whole game was like only a few $100s. It wasn't much when there were people dropping 20, 30,000, you know, here and there. But it was pay to win. But the problems were different, you know, like, okay, cool, it was pay to win. You'd get your ass kicked by the pay to win guys. Fine. You know, you just avoided them or whatever, or got your butt kicked and, you know, went and tried to catch up some. But it wasn't like you had to play 24/7. You didn't miss out on anything if you didn't play. Like, you just logged off when you were done playing, and then you logged back on when you wanted to play more. It wasn't, you gotta leave the game up 24/7, or you feel like you're falling behind, or you're missing out on something, you know, things aren't farming. This is another thing that I have a complaint about with these games now. Throne of Liberty is the new, one of the newer big names on the market for now. It may not be a big name, it may have flopped, I don't know, I haven't kept up with numbers, but it's one of the ones that I'm actively logging into here and there. But it's like the timed events. It's like multiple times a day the world bosses spawn and you have to show up. Which, okay, that's fine. Every little bit there's world events that take place, and the farming, that's the only way you can actually actively farm things that doesn't require you to have some kind of token in exchange. Well, actually they put a limit on that too now. You can only do like 15 a week or something, so I guess there's that. But the fear of missing out, you have expedition, so it's like you send your little like ferry Amatoy style thing and on an expedition, and you have to check it, and it's like every hour, every 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours, and you have to log in and reset it. If I don't feel like logging in, then I miss out on resetting it, and I'm missing out on time, then it's gathering resources for me. I'm just tired of the FOMO. But I was thinking about even the older one that I was talking about, like Last Chaos. You know, you would grind and the drop rates were freaking terrible, but you could grind as much as you wanted. So really it was up to you how much progress you made. There wasn't anything standing in your way other than grinding out levels, grinding out skill points, grinding out items, you know, and there wasn't you weren't really time gated. Later on they did some daily quests that you could do to help grind up experience and stuff. But you could still go kill monsters, so it was really up to you how much you wanted to play or how little you wanted to play. You weren't like, if you didn't log in, you weren't missing out on something other than just not putting time into grinding. And it was still repetitive, right? I don't know when I took this turn, and I'm not saying it as a general thing, but just for myself. I don't know when I took this turn to where I need to be online all the time. Maybe BDO pushed me for that. But I was leaving my computer up for other games too. I would do it for Forsaken World and Last Chaos. Before that, I would leave it up. I would leave a shop up and sell stuff overnight. But if I left it up, I would check my shop for 2 minutes, leave it up, and go. And I would go do things. I wouldn't think about it until I got home and saw it again. It wasn't like I was constantly worried about, oh, did I disconnect or whatever. It's like, well, if I disconnect, well, whatever, you know. But something changed. I don't know, and maybe it's me that's broken the last few days or last few weeks, but I don't feel the magic where games are concerned anymore, and I think it's been translating over in content. Like I have not made good gaming content, and I apologize for that. I by no means plan on quitting recording things. I don't plan on quitting games or anything, but I plan on doing different things and I want to talk about that after we enhance this. So let's do attempt number 25 with the croned attempt on these Fisher's Clothes, 6%. That'll put me at even 25 fails when it fails, and then I'll only need 10 more, and I can get it guaranteed. So we're getting there. But here's to another one, Pearl Abyss. Take some more of my time away. Yep. That's pretty much how it goes. And so, you know, there's that.
This is Tidal Ferry. Are
Gotta
you traveling along the
gotta have
river?
memory fragments. Got those.
If you have a lot of stuff, leave it with me.
What do I need? 2?
Within your allowed space, of course.
Use these free
There's
artisan
nothing more
memories up,
romantic
right?
than a river or sea travel. Wouldn't you agree? Come find me anytime.
I don't. I clicked left click instead of right click. Alright. Put that back on.
It feels like
Where's the
I'm
training?
flying.
Put the training back on. There we go. Now, let's go deal with this horse training and finish my thought. Really, I'm looking to change. I'm looking to just kind of change me. I think somewhere along the way my channel got messed up. I went from starting the channel to kind of solidify and, you know, put my dad's character name out there. And I haven't really ever done a full origin. Like I explained where my character name came from, and these are all tier 8s. I just really don't care. We're gonna go catch some horses anyway. Alright, register at breeding, show only me, breeding market, my horse list. Let's breed this guy. That way we can get rid of some of these. Oops, I need the wagon. Let's go catch a few horses and see if I can get some females because, well, quite honestly, I'm running low. Sorry, wife. One female's not gonna do it for me. At least not where horse training goes. That's a bad joke. All right. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. I don't know. My channel got messed up. I wanted it to be like I missed the 2010 to 2012 YouTube era where people made a channel and that was their channel, you know, like they shared everything. You got, oh look, I'm playing this game. Look at these cool things. Cool. And then the gaming thing really took off, and so people were like, cool, I can make a career out of this. And then it just became like algorithm manipulation and farming, and I don't like that. You know, I can probably put out a bunch of content that caters to the algorithm and get like lots of notice, do things like that, but that's not me. It's not. I don't care to do that. So I'm going to treat my channel moving forward as genuine as I can. Sure. I just name my horse random stuff. At least that's one female horse there. There should be another one around it. There it is, hiding behind there. One of those stupid spotted red horses. But I had made my channel to just share not only things I do in games, but also my life, my family, just everything's going on, you know. When I was a kid, we had a camcorder, and we used to like make home movies and stuff. I wanted to treat it like that. It's like, here is just not so much become a vlogger, but just here's moments of my life I thought were worth sharing. You know, things that I do, things that we work on, places we go, just anything. I guess that's the definition of a vlogger, but we name these junk because they gotta go. But not necessarily tied to the computer, not necessarily just career videos or anything, but basically a channel that encapsulates everything. So somewhere along the way I devolved into a gaming channel and didn't actually start making full-on things, but I think a lot of that was because I was working full-time when I started the channel, and I would upload here and there, and then I was doing League of Legends stuff because that's what we were actively playing at the time, and then we started playing BDO, and it just kind of went from there. I tried several different things, and then our house burned. If you're an older subscriber, you know that story. And we came back to the family farm, and I wanted to transition over to like farming content and stuff that I was actually doing. You know, I left my programming / IT job and let my wife take over to be the nurse that she is, work in the medical industry, and work on building our farm up, which has been going, but we haven't really pushed. We've both had quite a few health issues recently. It's been really bad. My autoimmune issues have gotten really bad, and I've put off pushing forward. And I always wanted to kind of not just be a gaming channel, but I also wanted to show real life stuff, and I just never did do it. I got the camera for it. You know, I have more junk. Junk 2. I can get one more horse here, right? Yeah. And then I just didn't do it, and we started picking up a little bit of traction, and I became a BDO only channel because that's where the traction was, and somewhere along the way I got afraid of sharing things and putting myself out there in other places that might not do well. You know, BDO was the safe that could get hundreds of views, and for a small channel, hundreds of views is like starting out. It's good, right? Hell, I didn't even put face cam on because I really didn't want, if anybody close recognized me or that kind of thing, you know. I don't even like recording in front of the wife. That's why I don't live stream. It's just kind of awkward for me. Flare, because that makes me think of a flare. Don't ask me why. I have a weird way of looking at things. You know, but this is why I don't even record live stream. It's just kind of awkward. I'm just awkward. It's different talking to the screen, and nobody's real time judging or looking at me in real time. And yeah, I can upload videos, look at a few comments. If I don't like them, then I can just be like, I don't ever have to look at that again. Who cares if I'm up there or not, you know? But live streaming, it's like real-time live feedback, and it feels weird. It's even like being on live stream in front of the wife, I'm just not used to it. So I never transitioned to the type of content that I wanted to, and then that's why I've been experimenting with the phone, because I have a decent phone. I might as well use it, right? The camera's probably better than this one, because this old Logitech webcam is well, old. And so, you know, we're getting there. I'm slowly transitioning stuff around. I would like where I would like the channel to be. Doing other things, taking my camera with me, setting things up. I am working on learning. I haven't sat down to do it yet, but I want to learn Blender so I can make a decent channel like intro for all the videos. Maybe even if it's just a 3D 5-second logo that comes in, you know. I haven't really ever used Blender too much, but I would like to, so I've been looking at maybe doing that. BDO doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't hold the same magic, but as far as games go, I downloaded Star Wars: The Old Republic, not Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. You know, the old single player PC console game, not the MMO one, the original Knights of the Old Republic. They got it on Steam. I own both the first one and the second one. I've wanted to play through them. The last time I played through them was with my brother when we were kids, on console. So, and I remember it being glitchy, laggy mess, and I have about 4 key memories of that. I don't remember the whole game. Maybe if I played it, it'll come back to me. I don't know what to do, but I have like 2 or 3 actual like memories I can see, picture of the game, but other than that, I don't. And I've been looking at other ones that I've paid for. I have a bunch of paid single-player games, but my YouTube recommended is all messed up because I watch all kinds of stuff. My subscribed channels are crazy. I've got a lot of farming stuff I subscribe to. I've got gaming stuff I subscribe to, but I've been looking at a lot of like incremental games, roguelike style games, League of Legends style games. It's just the session based, I can log on, or the single player stuff where I don't have to do all these daily tasks. So whenever I don't want to play, I just don't log on. You know, and I was thinking when I was a child, you know, I got sucked into the Pokemon phenomena because whenever that first came out, I was like 7 or 8, and then right whenever it hit America in 1998, I was like right at 9-10 years old, so I could identify with the anime or the cartoon, whatever you want to call it, the main character. You know, I was about the same age, and so got sucked into that world and the world of RPGs. It was like the first RPG game that I played, and I played the heck out of it. And then I played other I had Game Boys, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. When I was a kid, and we had consoles and stuff, and we played. But what my game life looked like then is the first RPG I played was the Pokemon ones, right? So that's how I got introduced to RPGs, and then I played some Zelda stuff. I remember the season game. I don't remember. There were 2 of them. They were like sister games or whatever. They had the different seasons. I don't remember. Maybe it was called A Link to the Past, I think. I can't remember. It's been so long ago, and I haven't played any of them. So I played those. I played the Metabots on the handheld games, the RPG, Golden Sun, and then we played other games on the consoles when we weren't doing other stuff. I remember Conflict Vietnam was one of my favorite games. I was one of the weirdos later on that liked Call of Duty World at War. I think that was the only good Call of Duty. And everyone else that I've talked to thinks it was the worst Call of Duty, but I loved that one. There was just something about it. But you know, you had like minor things you could upgrade there, so I got introduced to like pseudo RPGs. I'm a big fan of that, like arcade RPGs where you have like your arcade character, and then you get like a few stat points to upgrade. You can build stats like different It's very light though. I think that's why the roguelite and that kind of stuff interests me, because it's like micro upgrades, but there's not a huge amount to manage, and it still gives you a little customization. But all that kind of just transitioned into the GameCube in like the early 2000s. I bought one of those. I transitioned away from the Pokemon RPGs because, I mean, I grew up. I don't hate it now, and I still have handhelds with it on there and stuff. It's just, I just don't put time into it, you know. They're still interesting to watch. There's a few channels that do that kind of stuff that I'll watch here and there. But I just don't play it that much anymore, you know, if at all. And there's just everything else comes first. But I transitioned into other games on the GameCube. Played like Tales of Symphonia, those types of RPGs. Played some Final Fantasy. And see, this was all a different branch, because I had friends whenever I was in like grade school, early middle school. And I remember watching their older brother play on over at their house. Play, he was Final Fantasy VII, I think, and that was like my first introduction to Final Fantasy, because I didn't have, we didn't have PlayStation early on, and they did. I didn't get a PlayStation until later. We always had Nintendo. But after getting the GameCube, I played Final Fantasy on that, and that was the weird one where if you wanted a multiplayer, you had to use like the Game Boy as a controller to have multi. It was weird, and I don't know. I didn't really like that one very much. Had to like keep the fog at bay and do these weird rooms. It was weird. Played a game called Bait and Kados. Always wanted the Skies of Arcadia game, but I never could get my hands on it. So I never played it. But anyway, RPGs were just more fun to me. But I did play everything. I played shooters. I played a lot of things like Matrix, and for GameCube, I still got my GameCube. It's sitting like 2 feet from me, like in a box. It survived our house fire. It's just been sitting in a box. I need to clean it up. It's still kind of messed up. I need to go through and clean all that up and get it out of the box and put it on the shelf or set it up or something, or send it on to someone that would use it, you know. But now that I'm into PCs more than consoles, because after the GameCube was the last console I bought, until very recently. Right before our house burned, I did buy an Xbox One, like the white, or it wasn't like any of the new ones, it was older, this was a few years ago, and only because I bought it to play Call of Duty with the girlfriend, the now wife. She was into shooters and stuff, and console, and we had Red Dead Redemption on there, but transitioned her to PC. Now she's a PC gamer, and there's no going back. But I don't have a recent console, so I don't console game at all, really. I do have a 3DS that she bought me, but I don't really play it. I mean, it just sits here on the desk. I don't play it much. So it's got me thinking about all the games throughout my life and what I could have done if I had not put time into all of that, and I had grinded somewhere else, you know. I don't know. I don't know if other programmers feel like this, but I got to a point where I was sitting inside all day programming, and I found myself staring at the window just trying to disassociate, because I just got tired of being around PCs. I love working on computers. I work on them here as a little side thing. Like I fix stuff and I'm gonna list them on eBay and send them off, or I'll sell them locally when we have a sale or something. But I enjoy the farm work. Maybe it's just because that's how I grew up. but it kind of all just got put away, and I've been focusing on the games more recently, recording, doing that stuff, and it's just unhealthy. And I don't really have a point of a rant or where I'm going, and this is just kind of thoughts that I've had recently. Just curious how many other people feel the same way. I know the last few videos, several of you do feel the same way, and you voiced your opinions, and that's good that you voice it. But I want to boycott developers for games that think that they can demand massive amounts of our time and act like it doesn't matter. Pearl Abyss got a rude awakening when half their player base quit over all the PvP changes, and they've been struggling ever since, and they need another awakening. You know, you can't just build this world and have nothing in it. I mean, they've spent 10 years building this thing, and then for what? Like, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm just fed up and want to go do other things. But at the end of the day, the servers are going to shut down one day, and all this is going to be gone. And what are you going to have? Nothing. You're not going to have your time. You're not going to get your time back. You're not going to get your money back. The memories are going to fade. Mine probably won't, because I'll have this channel. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. You know, I still have memories of Forsaken World that I played, and as much as I wish the game was back, some of it's nostalgia, because I do remember some things being terrible at the time, and now it's like wishing for those things to come back, because like I enjoyed doing the arena, but we could never win because of the pay to winners, you know. So we had to fight these people that spent a huge amount more money than I did, so there wasn't like you know, just lose all the time, and it was miserable. But looking back, I find myself wishing that I could play it again. It's the weirdest thing. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. But I think I want to see if I can take everything that I have learned in BDO and every other game that I've played and apply it to real life. You know, we made friends along the way. We've learned lessons. And that's another thing, the friends. The friends are, I think, why I'm so disillusioned with these online games now. I had a friend I used to duo with on League of Legends. And this was not the first time that I've been betrayed, right? I've had a lot of friends backstab me, and this is just the consequence of being anonymous online, right? Well, right after she was girlfriend then, but my wife and I got together, and he tried to get her to send him pictures, and it's like, because we would like group play League together sometimes, and then I would duo with him in ranked when I was just playing by myself, and that pretty much ended that. So, you know, there was that, and now more recently in Throne of Liberty, we've had some people. Like, I found out that the MMORPG community has went downhill. Y'all that watch my channel are probably some of the only good ones left. But in Throne of Liberty, I've met maybe like 3 people that I would consider decent. Everyone else is kind of a piece of shit. The Bees, you're one of the good ones if you're around still. So we joined guild, Exiled Templars, whenever early on when we were playing that, playing Throne and Liberty. Guild fell apart around us. I ended up with guild lead. We decided we wanted to be part of a big guild, and I don't like being the head of like recruiting. I'm just not that outgoing enough to recruit people, so I dumped the guild lead and we left. Went and joined Black Division. Those guys were cool. Really had a good time, but then they fell apart. We lost a few fights, and I don't know if they just couldn't handle it, or found out that, you know, console gaming is very different than PC gaming, and these guys that play PC gaming like this all the time are sweaty, and it's hard to compete. And so the guild fell apart, and so we ended up having to move on, and I followed my wife to join this guild called Rebellious. That was okay, but the guild leader did something very shady, told us all that he didn't want to be guild lead anymore. He was kind of tired of being management or whatever. Merged us into the guild that we're into now, called the Fellowship. And right after our first siege fight that we did as a guild, the guild leader that merged us in, that we followed to merge in, took his core party and dropped guild and left. So and then we found out from the guild leader of the guild we merged into, the Fellowship, that that was the plan all along. That the other guild lead, they spoke about it beforehand and didn't tell anyone. Didn't want any of the guild members to know, but they merged us into this new guild and dumped us. And it's like, just be up front. Don't be a piece of trash. So I'm pretty disillusioned with the game communities that I'm running into nowadays. I remember the good old days, you know, back in the day. You know, you got in fights with people, but it was few and far between. You know, people were generally pretty accepting and nice and stuff. They didn't backstab you all the dang time. It's just nuts. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time to build like familiar connections and stuff, you know, and then to be dumped like that. Like the friendships and stuff didn't matter, or the guild, being a guildmate didn't matter, and especially in a game that is very dependent upon doing guild activities. Like, that's the whole game. So I just don't have time for that, and that pretty much disillusioned me with Throne and Liberty, and I just haven't really felt like playing it at all. I've logged on and done a few things here and there, and when the wife is around, she wants to play. I've logged in and done dungeons and stuff and played with her, but I pretty much quit. I'm just doing the bare minimum, you know. I'm not logging in by myself. I'm not doing daily stuff. I just what's the point? And BDO kind of felt like that too. This guild that I'm in on BDO, these guys on here, they're probably the best, if not the best, and one of the best guild. I really like the guild leader. He's a cool dude. The guild advisor, he's cool. And then all the guild members I've been able to joke with and interact with. I know some of them probably might even watch this. I don't know, but all you guys are cool. And you're probably the best guild I've been in. But I'm pretty disillusioned with the game in general. I think all of us players are the problem, you know. We harped on stuff taking too long. We harped on wanting fast content, and then that's what we got, and now it's crap. But it's also the psychological thing of preying on people's addictions, like the gamble boxes and the massive amounts of making it very easy to spend and very inconvenient. So the incentive to spend is there really badly. It's not a game anymore. They turned it into business, and when gamers stopped building games and business people started building games is when it went bad. And I think that's all we see now is businesses building games. It's not like It's not like the days of physical media. And I've still got a box for Terra and a box for Guild Wars 2 sitting over there on the shelf that I kept because I ended up grabbing them. I actually had terrible internet when Terra came out, so I ordered a disc off of eBay just so I could install the game, so I didn't have to download the patch, because the patch was going to take like days. Like, that's how bad the internet here in this area was then. Now we have the ability to get, you know, meg fiber, but we have good internet now, but back then it wasn't. But those days are long gone of reading the back of the box and looking at all the box art and all that stuff. Now we can click a download button real quick. There's no art craft anymore, you know. There's no real sense of community. I think that's why World of Warcraft does so good, even though some aspects of that game, from what I hear, is really bad. The plus, the extra is there, you know, the merch is there, you're getting all kinds of, like, I mean, they have WoWCon, you know, and like all of this extra stuff. People are able to do things, not just sit in the game, like the conventions and merchandise, you know. It's a whole world you're getting sucked into. I think that's why the Pokemon does so well too, you know. It's like the games kicked it off, but then you got the trading cards and all the merchandise, and you have people that are just excited about it. They want to get together and just be excited about it. All this stuff now is pretty inaccessible. Even for like BDO, there's just not that much, and their merch is, from what I've seen, is like non-existent or very expensive for something lackluster. I'm sorry, but I don't want a statue of my character sitting around. Like, I haven't looked recently, but give me a Black Spirit coffee mug or something that I can use, you know? I don't want a plushie. Give me something useful. But even like the ball events that, you know, several people get to go to, and they always have them way away, and the company isn't based out of America, so most of American players, unless you just have bunches of money to fly across the world and go to these things, it's just inaccessible. It's just kind of weird to me, but I guess it kind of turned into a rant, a long-winded way of me saying I want to play some stuff when I can, but I have an idea for where my channel, where I want it to be versus where it's at. Instead of eking by, I want to do some things. So I'm going to learn Blender, try and up the quality of my videos and do different things. If it takes me a while to do that, bear with me. I'm not disappearing, but I have to learn things that I don't know how to do, and that's going to take me time, and I know it's going to take me time. Like, learning to edit better. It's easy to hit record and stop record, you know, and do everything in one take. It's another thing. It's an art that you have to learn for the editing and stuff, and I admire those guys that do it well. I have all the software, I have the cameras, I have all the equipment. I have to get better at going through the motions, and I have to learn how to do what I need to do to make things the way that I want them. Like, I have this vision, but I don't know how to get there, and I'm trying to figure that out, and I have been trying to figure that out. That's why I dropped down to one video a week, because I have no clue what I'm doing. But I'm learning. If I have to drop down to one video every couple weeks or one video a month until I figure out what the heck I'm doing and get faster at maybe editing and recording stuff, you know, and wait 2 weeks or whatever, however long it takes for me to build up enough footage to be able to edit down into something and then learn how to edit and do all of that. If it takes me several weeks to get that done and I don't have anything to put out, I can always come on and do a video like this to do in the interim, but what's the point, you know? I can talk. More like a podcast at this point with BDO horse sounds in the background. But I really didn't have any enhancing, and enhancement materials are not on the market. Either everybody's buying them up and using them, or there's just nobody farming them, I don't think. I mean, it took me several days to get 600-700 stones before, and that was buying the stones and the black gems and everything. I think there's some black gems, but... So, as far as enhancing goes, I didn't have anything this week, and as far as the channel and videos, things are slow. I'm trying to figure out more things than just YouTube, and YouTube always comes second because the farm and my wife always come first, and that's never going to change. But I am thinking that I want to go through the process and show how I'm going to basically apply game logic to real life and build up our farm. You know, we have certain things in place already. But this farm has been dilapidated for a long time. It got to where it was just being rented for row crop, and then it moved back here after we lost our house, and we've kind of made the transition into living here, and we've been here for a couple of years now. And so we're settled, but we're not where we want to be, and so I kind of wondered if maybe I'll do a building the farm series. That's kind of what I'm looking at. But I got to learn how to edit better, and I got to get used to filming stuff and being on film more than just a floating head. And I've got to get better at some of the software that I'm using, and then transition my game videos into maybe a couple hour live streams a couple times a week. Instead of doing game videos, I'm doing other stuff and shorts, and then going live a couple times a week. That's where I want to be. You know, playing older games, things that I actually enjoy, instead of grinding away at these things that none of us really enjoy. Heck, I'm guessing most of you that watch my BDO videos probably aren't even playing the game anymore. I'd put a bet on that. Some of you probably are, and if you're enjoying it, cool. But I'm guessing some of you aren't, most of you are not. So I'm gonna quit rambling. I just wanted to get a message across. It's been a week since I even thought about recording, and I didn't have anything planned. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go do what I gotta do, and I have work that needs to be done. So I'm gonna do it. And you guys, don't put your life on hold for games. Don't. That's all I have to say. I'm happier when I'm not. So I'll catch you in the next one, as always. Until next time.